Hello and welcome back to Thursday Morning with Linda Z's. Today I wanted to look at something practical. You know how you go to the store and you buy a pair of pants and they're like 4 inches too long on you? And you're thinking, maybe I want to try hemming them myself.
Hi, sewing friends. It's Linda here with a cup of coffee. I hope you have one too. The wonderful thing about this channel is that it's a tribute to sewing, quilting, and embroidery. We showcase an array of machines that will fit every project that you can even imagine. Do you enjoy our content? Well, then please lend us your support with a subscription, a like, a comment, positive comments. We love hearing from you. For product inquiries, just lindaz's.com. It's always open. We have a dedicated sales staff that look forward to helping you make the right choice with your future machine needs. And let's embark on today's sewing journey.
So today I have a pair of pants, tag is still on, because they're too long, and I just wanted to show everyone a little bit about hemming a pair. So this is a denim, stretch denim pair of pants, and I've already started cutting a little bit of the hem off. So I've cut just above the hem, and we're gonna go to town. So I just wanted to show you a little bit of how we set up before we really do this. What do we need? I've got scissors large enough to be able to easily trim off my hem that I don't need anymore. I've got little trim scissors as well. I've got denim needles because I need denim needles to get through ultimately so 1, 2, 3, 4 layers of denim, and I want my thread to be large enough or thick enough to show, so it's almost like a top stitching thread, because that's what this already looks like. So I want to imitate the same look that they have on this jean already, and so I need some pins. I will need probably a tool to bring my jeans through the sewing machine, potentially. My thread that I've got on the machine is actually a coordinate thread, which is a thicker thread, and it will definitely show on the machine. But I also wanted to showcase the fact that we have the new industrial strength threads in our store. So it was a toss-up between, should I use the coordinate or should I use our new thread? And really, the colors were not exact of what I needed. This one's called chocolate, and it was pretty close. But I ended up choosing the sort of olivey green, which is also the same kind of tone so it's between a chocolate and an olive green, this pant. So I'm going with the olive green today. You could potentially be using this double stick hemming tape, which is great. So we could potentially use that to hold it in place while we're getting ready to go over to the machine. And then you could use a hemming ruler, a gauge, which is also nice to be able to measure the 2 inches that my hem will be, and then I will have a 1/2 inch flip underneath that. So we're gonna get there. And if we did need it, we could also be using one of these hemming rulers that are heat resistant, and we could just fold over our hems. And we'll get to the iron a little bit later. So why don't we go ahead and finish cutting around the hem. So I'll finish what I started here, cutting right at where the hem was rolled up, because I already pinned these earlier, so I could see that if I just took away this hem and then hemmed the rest up 2 inches with that 2.5, that 1/2 inch hem underneath the roll, that it would be the perfect length for me. If I had to be in between these two, I would have had to tear out the seam, pull down all of the 2.5 inches, and then go in between somewhere. And sometimes these folds that have been pressed are a little bit hard to get out if you had to incorporate that into the length of the pant, because that's a little bit hard to do. That's even worn. You can see it's sometimes there's a line that you can't remove. So I'm really glad that they're so long that I have to fold up get rid of the entire hem. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to have you come with me over to the machine. We're going to test out some stitch lengths to make sure that we look similar to what we had here already on the hem. So why don't we go ahead and do that now? Okay, so I've got this machine set up. This is a straight stitch Juki machine. It's a workhorse, wonderful machine. This is perfect for doing this hem on these denim pants that I have here. Now we're going to see how that looks first. So why don't we go ahead and test that out. Let's see what that looks like for a little bit. And I can see that my color thread is probably too green. Ooh, maybe I will do the other color because it does look a little bit off. So I actually decided to try the industrial thread for just one run to see what it looks like. So here we go with the same 3.5 stitch length, or 2.5, just shy of 3 actually. So let me see what that looks like. And wow, neither of them are perfect, but I actually prefer the coordinate. So I don't know if you can see that, but I do because it seems a little bit finer, the industrial thread. So I'm going to go with the thicker coordinate. And I am going to start with the 1/2 inch overlay. And I can eyeball this myself, so I am going to eyeball it. One thing I forgot to bring with me is my clapper. Normally a wooden clapper would be perfect with this because once you're done with the heat part, you can put a cold wooden clapper on there to keep it, to hold that seam, to hold that fold, I mean, and it won't come out as easily. Because sometimes you have really long hems or rolls that you want to fold over, and a larger clapper helps with that because it covers more space. And then in something small like this, even though this is a wide leg pant, a smaller clapper would be perfect. So there I've got my 1/2 inch, and now is the tricky part. So this is the just shy of a 2-inch width here, and I'm just bringing my gauge along with me as I go before I press it out to make sure that I'm at the same amount all the way around. I press it and then I move along to the next portion. Ideally, I'm going to want to try these on to make sure I'm doing this at the right length before I actually stitch anything. So I'm going to pin this now that I've pressed it. First, I'll do it at the inner seam and the outer seam just to make sure everything is lined up. And then I could also do it at the folds, the front fold and the back fold. And I think that's enough pinning. So what I like to do is I like to start at the inner inseam of the pant because that's where I'm going to back stitch, and I just don't want that to show as much maybe on the outer leg, so I'm showing it starting on the inseam. Okay, so go over to our machine. I'm doing this from the outside because I like my top stitch to be the pretty one and not have the bobbin on the outside. I can feel where the edge is there, so I'm going to keep my outer edge of this narrow foot on the edge of that fold underneath. And I'm not going to go too fast. I'm just going to go right along smoothly here. Here we are, we're going through more layers than we did at my trial because of all those layers. But I do have that 100 jeans needle in the machine, so that's a very strong needle, so that's good. I'm going to release the pressure of my foot a hair. Might be too tight. Looking good. Just go slowly along. Again, that folded edge is along the inside, the left side of my foot, my presser foot. There's where all of those thicknesses are, is at those seams. That was the outer seam I just went over. About to match up my first where I started. Oh, and that's a lot of seams there. And then I can back stitch a little bit. This machine can handle anything. It can handle this for sure. And there you have it. So now I'm going to trim the threads here on the inside and the outside. Looking good. I'm going to take the pins out. Oh, then I'm going to go over to the iron and press that flat. Looking pretty good. I can steam it. Let's What's nice about, whoops, I forgot to let the steam out. So put a little moisture on my pants, but that's okay. These are denim, they can handle it. Okay, so I got my first leg done, and I'll go ahead and show you guys what that looks like. So that, in a nutshell, is how you hem quickly, all by yourself, your own denim, stretch denim jeans. Thank you very much for watching, everyone, and have a wonderful Thursday.